Welcome to this explainer. Let's just drop right into the middle of the action, shall we? Picture this. It is the absolute climax of a struggle that is actively shaking the very foundations of the British Empire. It's a moment so intense, it would literally etch itself into a nation's history forever.
It's March 23, 1931, and deep inside the heavy stone walls of the Lahore Central Jail, three young revolutionaries are walking toward the gallows. It's a dramatic, highly secretive execution. The authorities have actually bumped it up, carrying it out ahead of schedule just to avoid a massive public outcry. Now, the names of two of these men, Bhagat Singh and Rajguru, they echo incredibly loudly through history. But today, we're focusing our lens on the third man standing right beside them, the quiet, strategic mastermind of the whole operation, Sukhdev Thapar.
Okay, let's dive into this. 23. Just pause and think about that for a second. It's a staggering contrast, isn't it? The massive, empire-shaking scale of his actions, the vast, complex revolutionary networks he built across northern India, the sheer weight of his legacy, and all of it culminated before he even reached his 24th birthday. No way, right? To understand how one individual could achieve so much in such a remarkably compressed time frame, we really have to look at where his story began.
Section 1. The Spark, Awakening of a Revolutionary.
So Sukhdev was born on May 15, 1907, in the Nagara area of Old Ludhiana in Punjab. Tragedy actually struck his family really early on, when his father passed away while Sukhdev was just a kid. But this immense loss ended up bringing him under the direct care of his uncle, Lala Achintaram. His uncle was a deeply, deeply patriotic man. Under his daily guidance, Sukhdev developed this fierce natural discipline and an early deep-seated passion for social justice and India's freedom. It really set the stage for everything that followed.
But the real turning point, that happened during his education. Sukhdev didn't just sit through traditional schooling with standard colonial textbooks. Nope, instead he went to the National College in Lahore. This place was specifically established to promote nationalist education, and it was an absolute crucible for radical ideas. Crucially, it was right there, within those walls, that he met and formed a historic, fateful friendship with another young student you might have heard of, Bhagat Singh. Together, they went all in on the cause of Indian independence. So, how exactly did this inspired young student morph into the strategic mastermind of a massive rebellion? Let's keep a closer look.
Section 2. Mastermind of the movement, the organizer.
First off, we've got to establish what the HSRA actually was. The Hindustan Socialist Republican Association was an armed revolutionary organization completely dedicated to fighting the British government for Indian independence. And Sukhdev? He didn't just join this group. His leadership qualities were so undeniable that he rapidly rose to become the chief of its entire Punjab unit, calling the shots on major movements across the whole region.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how it highlights his vital, behind-the-scenes organizational genius. While other guys might have been the very public faces of the revolution, Sukhdev was the engine room. He was out there actively organizing secret revolutionary cells all across Punjab. He recruited young freedom fighters. He meticulously planned underground activities, set up totally secure communication lines, and formulated the critical strategic decisions. He was literally building a formidable movement from the ground up.
Furthermore, he completely understood that a movement needs a massive, solid foundation of everyday people to actually survive. So, in 1926, Sukhdev helped co-found the Naujawan Bharat Sabha. This was a grassroots youth organization with a very specific progressive mission: to inspire patriotism, unite young Indians, and actively promote communal harmony. Sukhdev's ultimate goal was to prep the youth across all religious and regional divides for the freedom struggle, because he believed, for sure, that unity was the absolute only path forward.
So with all of this incredible grassroots organizing happening quietly in the background, a pretty big question emerges. How does a young student organizer escalate to becoming accused number one in the eyes of the entire British Empire?
Well, the historical chain of events escalated incredibly fast in December of 1928. It all started with the tragic death of the senior nationalist leader Lala Lajpat Rai, who had sustained severe injuries during protests against the Simon Commission. In direct retaliation for his death, Sukhdev, Bhagat Singh, and other HSRA members planned an assassination targeting Superintendent James A. Scott. However, plans go awry, right? In a fatal case of mistaken identity, Assistant Superintendent of Police John P. Saunders was killed instead.
This specific event is what made Sukhdev a primary target of the state. Fast forward to April 1929. An FIR, that's a First Information Report, was submitted in the massive, sweeping Lahore conspiracy case. And that report explicitly listed Sukhdev as accused number one.
Following the bombings of the Central Assembly Hall in New Delhi, which were carried out by his associates, Sukhdev and his companions were detained, tried, found guilty, and ultimately handed a death sentence.
But incredibly, even behind bars, the resistance didn't stop. Actually, in 1929, Sukhdev participated in a grueling prison hunger strike. The revolutionaries were vigorously protesting against discrimination and demanding equal treatment for Indian political prisoners. This relentless defiance drew immense national attention, completely turning their ongoing trial into a nationwide rallying cry for the revolutionary cause.
I mean, just look at this timeline. It's an incredibly compressed succession of monumental events. 1926, he co-founds the Naujawan Bharat Sabha. December 1928, the Saunders incident happens. April 1929, he's officially named accused number 1. And finally, March 1931, his execution. That is a lifetime of staggering revolutionary impact, and it all unfolded in just a rapid 5-year span. Which brings us to the immediate aftermath of that tragic March day in Lahore and the court teachings Sukhdev actually left behind for us.
Section 3. Enduring Legacy and Teachings.
The execution of Sukhdev, Bhagat Singh, and Rajguru sparked massive, undeniable public outrage. The news was highly publicized and coincided right with the Indian National Congress's annual convention in Karachi. The New York Times even reported a reign of terror, with riots breaking out in Kanpur. Interestingly, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar wrote a really pointed editorial in his daily publication. He claimed the execution was driven by British political fear. Specifically, they were terrified of a conservative backlash back in England following the Gandhi-Irwin Pact, rather than any actual pursuit of justice.
And this brilliantly illustrates what Sukhdev really left behind. It wasn't just a series of militant actions. It was a deeply synthesized political philosophy. He championed patriotism, putting the nation well before personal interests. He believed in youth leadership, the idea that educated, disciplined young people could truly transform society. He fought for national unity, pushing past religious and regional lines. And above all, sacrifice. The stark, undeniable reality that meaningful change always demands a personal cost.
Today, India physically remembers this ultimate sacrifice in several profound ways. There's the National Martyrs Memorial at Hussainiwala, located right near the India-Pakistan border, which is exactly where the 3 revolutionaries were surreptitiously cremated by the authorities. March 23rd is now officially observed every single year as Shahid Diwas, or Martyrs' Day. And his name lives on through major, vibrant institutions too, like the Shahid Sukhdev College of Business Studies at the University of Delhi and the Amar Shahid Sukhdev Thapar bus terminal right in his hometown of Ludhiana. So we want to leave you with this thought today, an ideal closely associated with his short but incredibly impactful life. The greatest honor is to sacrifice for the motherland. Knowing the sheer scale of what Sukhdev Thapar organized, built, and ultimately sacrificed by the age of 23, how can we apply even a fraction of that selfless dedication and disciplined leadership to the challenges in our own modern lives? It's a really powerful question, and definitely one worth asking yourself today. Thanks so much for joining us for this explainer, and we'll see you next time.